Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be shedding light on what is a livable wage. So what is a livable wage, you may ask? Without further ado, without further delay, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Succinctly stated, a livable wage is a wage that furnishes you with enough purchasing power to be able to attain a mediocre standard of living and to be able to maintain a mediocre standard of living post-retiring. If you earn a livable wage, then your basic needs can be assuaged, to say the least. So what is a livable wage in the digital era? How much would you need to earn to be able to receive a livable wage in the digital era? Well, a livable wage in the digital era can be deemed a mean net wage of at least $122 per hour. If you earned $122 per hour, and if you worked full-time for 2 decades, 20 years, or 1/5 of a century, then by the time you're retired, you'd be able to receive $6,000 in dividend payouts per month, or $72,000 in dividend payouts annually if you were able to save and subsequently invest $3,600,000 in the equities market from having generated wealth from working over the course of 2 decades at an hourly rate of at least a mean net wage of $122 per hour. So to be able to receive $6,000 on autopilot on a monthly basis post-retiring, you would have needed to invested at least $3,600,000 in the equities market in equities that bear high dividend yields of at least 2%. So most jobs do not pay anywhere close to even 1/4 of a subsistence wage. Most jobs will never even pay anywhere close to 1/10 of a livable wage. Indeed, it is ineffably unfortunate, but it is what it is. Minimum wage is typically less than 1/12 of a livable wage. So if you want to be able to have a prosperous, abundant, auspicious future and attain a mediocre standard of living, then working a dead-end, dispiriting, harrowing, agonizing, wretched, unfulfilling, undesirable, dead-end, minimum wage job is not conducive to allowing you to have a salubrious, auspicious, abundant, prosperous, blissful future. So that's what a livable wage is in the digital era. If anything is preordained to amplify in the pending future, I wouldn't be surprised if a livable wage in a decade from now would be anywhere from a mean net wage of $150 to even $244 as your hourly wage. The reason being is because the cost of living continues to perpetually amplify to an unprecedented height, and the dollar continues to lose purchasing power each and every day at this juncture, unfortunately. The devaluation of the dollar, coupled with inflation, coupled with the rising cost of living, means that you need to generate more revenue to be able to maintain your standard of living. In the past, fewer dollars would get you more items, But in the future, lamentably, more dollars will get you fewer items. I know it's paradoxical, but the crux issue is that the devaluation of the dollar erodes wealth and renders it compulsory for you to earn more revenue if you want to be able to maintain your standard of living. Today, a gallon of gas is priced around $4, whereas in past years it was priced around $2. So, in the digital era, unfortunately, your dollars are not stretched far, metaphorically speaking. And it is incumbent, pivotal, imperative, and of eminent importance that you can earn a livable wage so that you can be able to retire after working for 2,080 hours per year, or 41,600 hours over the course of 2 decades, 1/5 of a century, or 20 years. You want to be able to maintain a mediocre standard of living post-retiring. But today, since wages are so egregiously low, people cannot even maintain a low standard of living, even if they work more than full-time hours. A minimum wage cannot even assuage your basic needs. It cannot even provide you with an egregiously low standard of living. A minimum wage is not anywhere close to a subsistence wage. So, if you want to earn a livable wage, do not depend on an employer to ever furnish you with a livable wage. You need to be profoundly successful as an entrepreneur. However, most people pivot to becoming welfare aristocrats, and as a result of them refusing to work in any capacity, they're able to receive unlimited money in tandem with unlimited benefits and attain the highest standard of living. Because people work real private sector jobs based on volunteer demand, they will finance their amenities, luxuries, their unlimited money, their unlimited benefits, and their accoutrements of the high life against their own volition. In this controlled market economy, they provide transfer payments to welfare aristocrats who refuse to work in any capacity. So, that's what most people do to cope with this calamitous issue of jobs not paying a livable wage. They do not bother working in any capacity. They become welfare aristocrats, and they're able to bask and live in and indulge in life in which they have attained the utmost highest standard of living because they have all the amenities, all the luxuries, all the accoutrements of the high life, and they also have unlimited money in tandem with unlimited benefits. And they do not have to work a day in their lives for anything that they receive in the form of handout payments and handout benefits. On the other hand, if you work a real private sector job based on volunteer demand, not only are you borrowing equity out of your time, life, happiness, health, and future wealth, but you're also more than likely going to succumb to chronic stress, chronic burnout, chronic fatigue, chronic inflammation, and other perilous health issues, to say the least. Because most real private sector jobs based on volunteer demand are often deemed to be dead-end, highly time-consuming, minimum wage, dispiriting, unfulfilling, undesirable, harrowing, distressful, brutally wretched, and ineffably agonizing jobs that do not even pay anywhere close to 1/4 of a subsistence wage. They provide you with no semblance for having a future. They do not even pay you enough to keep yourself afloat. So do everything in your purview to be able to earn a livable wage. Do not depend on an employer to even give you a negligible pay increase. You're at their mercy. They view their employees as expendable, exploitable, capital livestock that is harvested for profiteering purposes. This is dismal and unfortunate, but it is what it is. The overarching goal of a corporation is to maximize the wealth of their shareholders and maximize their profits. It's not conducive to maximizing the well-being of their employees, even though the employees are the backbone of the company's profitability and of the company's profound success. Moreover, based on the CEO's pay grade, they deem 1 second of his time to be commensurate to 2 hours of an assistant manager's time. In under 15 hours, the CEO will gross more revenue than an assistant manager grosses after working for 104,000 hours full-time over the course of 5 decades, half a century, or 50 years. So, based on the disparity in the pay grade between the CEO and the assistant manager, they deem his time to be worth at least 743,000% more than the assistant manager. So, never rely on a company for anything. If you can become an executive and get past the gatekeepers of opportunity, then maybe you could receive a livable wage from a company. However, barring that, there's other positions you're inapt to receive a livable wage from a company. The wealth is reserved for the CEO, the executives, the shareholders, and not for the employees. Once again, I hope that you found this video to be enthralling and insightful. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.